The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. TGIF as always. I am really excited tonight because I get to talk about something I have absolutely no idea any little thing about. So I love learning, and I love this beautiful woman in front of me. So tonight we are going to be talking about aura readings with Rebecca. How you doing, girl?
Good. How are you, Shay?
I'm good. I'm excited. I want to learn.
Yeah, well, I'm still learning too, so yep. I'm not going to say I'm an expert by any means, but I do know some stuff, so.
Yeah. So you just got to keep, you got to dumb it down for me so I get it.
Well, we'll try.
Yeah. How you been? You haven't been on the show in a few months.
It's been a while.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually talk every week, but
right?
On this show, we haven't done a Ghost Hunting 101 in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. So yeah, still doing ghosty stuff. Doing paranormal investigations at the Cambry House. And we did a summer solstice in June. That went really well. We had a great group of people there for that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Now I'm gearing up for October. We're doing a big Halloween extravaganza.
Yeah.
That one's going to be a ton of fun. I am super excited. I've got the Southern Gypsies coming for that. I believe Raven Rose is going to be there. And I have Karen Rontowski coming. She does Paranormal Karen podcast, and she does stand-up tarot comedy. So she's going to come and do a stand-up. We're going to investigate. We're going to have readings. It's going to be the Super Bowl of Halloween.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I can picture her with the Southern Gypsies. Imagine if they get going.
Oh, my gosh. It is going to be...
Yeah.
So exciting. I'm just so excited about this.
Is it on Halloween?
Yes, it is on Halloween. Halloween this year falls on a Saturday, on a full moon, and on time change, so there's an extra hour. It literally is the Super Bowl of Halloween.
Yeah. If you guys are in that area, you don't want to miss this one. No. I wish I was closer. I'd be there.
Yeah, I know you'd be there.
Oh, yeah, in heartbeat. Yeah, so. Oh, okay, so I could talk about this all night, but I'm really excited. So,
me too.
Let's start with the basics. Do you want to explain to everybody what an aura reading is?
Sure. So an aura is the energy around your body. People have been able to see auras for ever. It's a talent, though, so not everybody can see them, and you have to kind of learn how to do it, and everybody does it kind of a different way. There's also aura photography where you can take pictures of people's aura. And I have had that done before. It's kind of cool. You get a picture of the aura. So basically, what's going on in your life will show up in your aura. Sometimes your aura will be the same your entire life. Sometimes it'll change based on what you've gone through or going through. So yeah, it's an individual, unique reading of the energy around you.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And as you're talking, I remembered that I agreed that if you would talk publicly about it, I would allow you to read my aura.
I'm reading Shay's aura today.
Shit, I forgot that part.
Yep.
Oh.
That's okay. You're good. There's no prep work to reading an aura. You don't have to concentrate or think on anything or take a shower the day before.
Well, that's good because I did not. I have not taken a shower yet. I did cut my bangs about 15 minutes before we started, though. I did the first round, then I'm going to wash my hair and do the second one, so.
Ooh. So, yeah, that's one of the cool things about the aura is you don't need a question or anything like that to start. You just look at your aura and go from there. So the aura is like different colors, and each color has a different meaning. And when I read the aura and the color, there's even subtle variations in the color that will tell me different things. So like green is one that like the different shades of green will mean different things. So
interesting.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
It is. I mean, I know a little bit about auras, and I knew the color. I don't know what color means what myself, but I've never discussed somebody actually doing it, so it's pretty cool.
Right. So I kind of am self-taught at this new venture thing. Actually, like a little over a year ago, I was doing a circle with a bunch of intuitives, and they said, "Oh, we're going to break into groups and do readings." And I said, "Okay, sure." Right? Why not? So I broke into my group and I read for my group, and they were just like, holy cow, that was the most amazing accurate reading I've had. And I was in a group with like some really strong intuitives who do this for like a living. Yeah, so when they were like going on and on about how really good at it was, I was just kind of like, holy cow, you mean what? And then, so then I kind of started like, well, this one might be a thing. So I like tried to practice them, and it took me a while. I thought I was just reading people's energy. So I was interpreting the colors on my own, which I've been told is the way to do it. You should intuitively interpret.
Right.
Versus like go by a book of what it means. Because your intuition is better than what the book says.
So that's kind of like comparing when people are doing tarot cards, when they're reading what the tarot card means rather than when they are reading what they're feeling from that.
Right. So a really good tarot card reader she can pull the same cards for the people, like 3 people, she'll pull the same cards for them. But each reading will be a different interpretation of those cards based on the intuition.
Correct. All right.
So,
that's what I thought. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And,
so,
go ahead.
Yeah, I did finally, once I realized I was actually reading auras instead of just energy, I did get a book and kind of, try and, learn a little bit about what I was doing, and my intuitive interpretations lined up with what was in the book. So it's like, oh, well, okay.
That's cool, though. That really is.
It was really cool. It was very affirming to kind of get that reassurance, because, you know, when you're doing stuff intuitively, you don't always get that reassurance of, okay, this is the right answer.
Right.
You know?
Right. But you're not always going to have the right answer.
No. And that's one of the things with the intuition. It's not always the quote unquote right answer, but it's always the intuitive answer.
Correct.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
That's the only, like, I'm not a psychic or a medium or intuitive or anything, but that's the only piece of advice I give people. If you ever talk to any kind of psychic or intuitive and they say, I'm never wrong, keep looking.
Yeah, I am actually an intuitive empath. So, yeah, I just kind of know things sometimes. I'm not a medium. I'm not like Kelly where I hear people talk or anything like that. That's not my gig.
Right.
I can feel energy in haunted locations. So I can usually walk in and tell if there's activity going on in there. Sometimes if it's really strong, I'll get more than other times. It just kind of depends, but I don't call myself a medium.
No, I get it.
No. Especially when you're around like the gypsies and Kelly and Cynthia, where they're just like, oh, I hear this. And it's like, no. I always think it would be easier if I could hear it, because then I would have like, you know, versus me like just knowing and trying to figure out, well, how did I know that? Did I?
Yeah, but from what they say, what they've told me is, you know, especially in the very beginning, it's not that fun. You don't know how to turn it off. You don't know how to control it. You don't know how to set boundaries. So. Right. Exactly. So yeah, the Aura reading has been kind of a fun journey. It's been an interesting journey, and it's really pushed me to trust my intuition more. So. That's good though. Yeah. So in like March, I started doing like a whole bunch more readings just to try and find a process, you know, get a process of doing the readings. I was calling them energy readings at that point. And I did a whole bunch of them. And I got a process lined out. And I will say that when you start doing readings and you don't use tarot cards, it kind of freaks people out. Sure. Yeah, so that was, yeah, that was kind of interesting. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to read you. And they're like, oh, where's your cards? I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And they're like, well, how are you reading me? I'm like, I'm just reading you, reading your energy, which is what an aura reading is. I'm reading the energy of your aura. Right. So, after doing that for a while, it was suggested that I use tarot cards to help kind of back up the reading. So my process is I focus on your energy, I get to color and stuff, and then I'll draw tarot cards to kind of help verify what I'm getting through the aura. And it usually gives me just a little bit more in-depth intuition into what's going on. It's kind of fun. It's really cool when something I pick up on the aura is reiterated on the cards. Right. That's really cool. It must reconfirm that you're on the right track. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then usually I get like some sort of message. I call it like a spirit message. I don't know. It's just an intuitive message that comes from the reading and the cards. So it's like an interpretation of, what's important for you to take out of this reading. So, and then that's my process.
And then while I was with the Southern Gypsies a few weeks ago, they actually, I'm going to totally blame Ashley for this. Ashley said, well, if you know how to paint, why aren't you painting auras? And I'm like, light bulb, duh, why am I not painting auras?
Right?
Sometimes you just need that outside perspective of somebody going, why aren't you doing that?
Yeah.
To make it clear. And so, yeah, I've been practicing painting auras the last couple of weeks. So,
yeah. See, I think that's really, really cool. It's kind of, you get the reading and the picture. It's not a picture in this case, but you know what I mean. Instead of just a photograph, you get reading and so that's really cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. And of course, I'm just seeing shapes, just kind of some blurs of colors, so it's not like real complicated painting going on over here.
Yep. But when we first talked about this, didn't I make the joke about mine was going to be all black?
Yes, you did make that joke.
Yeah. There might be some shades of gray in there.
You never know. Each person's aura is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some patterns, and yeah, like every once in a while, like especially when I was first doing it, I'd run across a color I hadn't seen before, and so then I'm like, what does that color mean? I don't know. And then I'd have to like intuitively think, okay, what does the color orange mean to me? What does orange mean? You know, and just sit there and kind of intuitively, those poor guinea pig people, I'm telling you.
Well, hey, you got to start somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Nobody jumps into anything full blown knowing exactly what they're doing.
Right, exactly. So you can read a bunch of different books about how to read auras. I didn't start out doing that, so I read them different than other people.
Yeah, but it works for you, so.
Yeah, it works for me. So I actually close my eyes to read the aura. I close my eyes and focus on the energy, and then I get a color that bounces back at me. Other people will stare at the person with a white background until they can see the outline of the energy. So, again, it's one of those things that's really individual, up to the reader and how they do it.
And what works for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because you don't do it like somebody else, if you were to switch to the way they do it, you might not be so accurate.
Right. I'm actually reading the aura with my third eye, which sounds kind of woo and out there, but what I'm doing is some kind of woo and out there stuff.
And this is also your first time publicly talking about this, right?
Right, exactly. Like I read for a whole bunch of strangers,
right.
But so. I haven't read for a whole lot of people that I know. I did finally tell one of my kids that I'm doing this, and she kind of freaked out, and she's like, "You're not going to dress like a gypsy, are you?" she says. And I said, "Absolutely not. I hate wearing skirts. That's just not going to happen. I'm not going to wear a dress. It's just not me." And then I said, "My thigh shape, you know, when you wear a dress, your thigh shape." And I just don't like that. And so then she started going on about, you know, different ways to help the shaping issue. And she's like, "You really should be wearing dresses." And I'm like, "Are you trying to talk me into dressing like a gypsy? Is that what we're going with?"
I know what you should be for Halloween. You really you want to freak her out?
Totally. Yeah. I'm going to be all gypsy for Halloween.
Oh, that would be great. Oh, that's funny. Don't dress like a gypsy. I won't, because I don't like wearing dresses. Because, here's some helpful hints. Girl, make up my mind.
Like, yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I'm like, do you want me to wear gypsy dresses? Because that's kind of where you're going in here.
That's great. That's something one of my kids would do.
She's great. She's 24, so she's at that age where she can give mom advice on things, which is always kind of fun.
Yeah. I always forget your kids' ages, even though they're relatively close to mine, but there's quite a few of you around the Paranormal Buzz family that happens, so I always mess up whose kids are what ages.
Yeah, I've got 24, 22, 20, and 11.
Yeah, I remember Amelia. Jeez.
Definitely. Yeah, Amelia gets all the press because she's always right here.
She's the one that's not even close to any of mine.
Yeah, she's my outlier child. The big three are all so close together in age, and then I have my little outlier. And like I said, you see Amelia a lot because she's with me all the time. Yeah. The big kids are, they're big, they're out on their own, they're doing their own thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. My youngest is 19, so I have Kate's 19, almost 19 and a half, just about, and the twins, who are the youngest three, are 20. They're about to be 21. So I got the twins, and then Kate's a year younger. So yeah.
Okay, so what aura questions do you have, Shay?
I have no idea.
You want me to just jump into the aura reading part? You might have more questions after I do that part.
All right, so here we go.
I just need a little bit to concentrate, and then we go from there.
All right.
Okay, so the first color I got was orange. So orange is joy and happiness. So that doesn't mean that your life is perfect by any means, or that everything is all hunky-dory, yippee-yappy, joy, but it means that there's a lot of love and light in your life. So most people with joy have like really close family systems. They have a lot of family around them that supports them. And of course, I know you, so I know that you do have a lot of family around you. It also signifies that you're in a good place in your life. Like I said, it doesn't mean that everything's perfect by any means, so don't think I'm saying that. It just means that, in general, where you're at is okay, and it's safe. Like I said, it usually means that you're just kind of in a good place or surrounded by good things. So the second color I got was yellow. So yellow means that you like knowledge, that you like seeking knowledge. So, so you like to study. For you, I don't really think that's so much like school study, but mainly like you're a seeker of knowledge. You just like to know. You like to know how things work. And so you seek knowledge. You want to learn how things work, and so you seek that knowledge out. Okay, and then I did get a little bit of black in your aura, which I'm not terribly surprised about. It's just a little tiny bit, and so what that means is that at some point in your life, dealt with some depression. I personally have, so I always see it in other people's auras. And just means that, yeah, it means that you've had some depression and stuff in your past. So it's like off the side and onto the edge. To me, when people have dealt with depression and stuff, it's not something that just goes away. It's always just kind of like there on the side where you can, it's just there, kind of shapes everything. So yeah, there you go. Well, now we'll do the cards. We'll see what the cards say about all that.
Let's see. I don't even remember the last time I let somebody read me or even pull a card for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, so I'm feeling extra special today, then. Actually get to read Shay.
Yep.
Okay. So my cards are a Lenormand deck. It's like a Rider-Waite system, but it's a different system than Rider-Waite.
All right, I have no idea what that means, so.
Okay, well.
I take your word for it.
Yeah. So anyway, I always do 3 cards, past, present, and future, just because that's the way my mind works. My mind works past, present, and future.
Okay.
So the first card is ship. That's in your past. Ship signifies good fortune and success in business, including promotions, and it can mean new opportunities, a journey, physical or metaphorical, new path, and progress. So in your past, I would say this means that your past has been a journey. You've been on a journey to get to the point where you're at. I would say that you've had some good stuff going on in your past. So yeah, because the ship is a good card. You get good cards, you get bad cards, yep. Anyway. And then, so the present card is Rider. Rider is an excellent card, FYI.
Okay.
Rider is a card of movement. The arrival of messages or people, it can indicate movement of energy, so be sure that the energy is moving in a positive direction. The Rider is fast, and if there's been a period of stagnation that is coming to an end, things are happening soon. This is a card of good news. And yeah, so trying not to let what I know about you color this, but
it's hard, I know.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd say that period of stagnation, I think you've kind of been in the period of stagnation, that's coming to an end. Rider means change. Things are changing in a positive fashion. The energy is changing. Your energy has been changing. So the thing that is important to remember about the Rider card is that the energy you bring in is what you're going to get out of it. So if you bring more positive energy in, you're going to have a positive shift in your energy. So, yeah. And then the last card in your future is Bouquet, which again is another really excellent card, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Bouquet is a card of true joy and contentment. It represents positive feelings and may also indicate a physical gift, a friendship, an act of kindness, a great opportunity, and success. So, yeah. Bouquet in your future means that good things are coming. So, again, all 3 of these things kind of have like a business aspect to them. So, I would say, that would kind of be, it could signify like a business that you are in or a part of is moving in a really good direction. So.
Very cool.
Yeah. like I said, all three of those are awesome cards. You got some good cards, you got some bad cards. These are all three good cards, FYI.
And they seem to fit together.
Yeah, they do. And they kind of hit on that joy part that I got in the aura.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, say. And I didn't ask ahead of time. I didn't know if I was supposed to talk, if I wasn't supposed to talk, if I was, supposed to tell you, yep, you're on the right, So that's why I stayed so quiet and,
Okay, well, let me know now. What do you think? How was that, Shay?
That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. And anybody that's listening, obviously Rebecca and I are friends and we know each other. So everybody's probably thinking, well, so it's easy. Actually, it's not easy because she has to keep the stuff she already knows about me separate.
Right.
And you don't know anything about my past. You only know from a couple of years ago on, whenever. Right. So. Exactly.
I don't know a whole lot about your past. And I would not have picked orange for you. That would
right. So anybody's listening, it's going to be like, what? But I got what it meant. And due to personal stuff, we can't really, in my life, we're not going to go into it too much, but it does make sense compared to where I was. I think both readings, it made sense, So.
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those things that it just kind of provides like a snapshot of where you're at.
Yeah.
And then you can take that and look at where you're going with it. It kind of just gives you like a deeper insight as to what's going on. Sometimes we sit there and we're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, or I don't know if I'm doing that right. And sometimes like the aura reading will just kind of give you clarity and focus, like adjusting the zoom on the camera so you can see things a little clearer.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get that. No, that was pretty cool. No, that was. And by the way, you close your eyes when you read people, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that I closed my eyes the whole time you were reading me?
I don't know. I don't know if people normally do that because I have my eyes closed. So.
Yeah, so I figured I'd tell you. Yeah, some reason I closed my eyes.
Okay, so let me show you. There's the aura painting.
Oh, cool.
So the main orange, the yellow was just on the side, and then that little hint of the black. And then those are the cards, which I'll send you a picture of those too.
Very cool.
So then this part is usually like, okay, what does this mean? What message are you supposed to get out of this?
Oh, yeah, I forgot this part. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I think the message you're supposed to get out of this is that you really do have a lot of good stuff going on in your life. There's a lot of really positive aspects to your life and what's going on. And I think sometimes that we have, especially like all of us, especially right now in 2020, we have a tendency to forget those positive aspects that are going on. And so I think this is just kind of reaffirming to you that you do have some good positive things going on in your life. So yeah.
And to elaborate on what you said, I do think people have a tendency to focus on the bad, and that's why we forget the good stuff. I really try to focus on the good, or at least remember. And of course I have my days, but I'm one that tries really, really hard to look at the bright side. Not to sound corny, but, there's always two sides to things, good and bad. And so.
Right. And I think that's something to note too about auras is that, a lot of times what's in your aura is what you are concentrating on. So the orange here would signify that you are concentrating on the positive aspects in your life.
Yeah.
And that's played, and that shows up in your aura. So if you're concentrating on negative and not good things, then that's going to show up in your aura too.
It's going to attract.
Yes, and it's going to attract those type of things too. So one of the things that I learned by reading about auras is that your aura can change over time. So your aura is not something that's set in stone, but it can be changed by your thoughts. Like if you go through a really bad experience, then that will change your aura. You go through a really good experience that changes your life in a dramatic way. That too will change your aura. So
how about just a bad day?
No,
No.
not so much a bad day. Although, like I've read for a few people, like on different days, and their aura will change based on the day. So, to some extent, usually, like most people that I have read for, so this is my personal experience, have one basic color that is their aura, and then they'll have like the side colors that show that kind of change.
See, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So there's one person I read for several times. We usually like do a once a month thing, and his main color is green. That is his main color is green. And then he has a couple different side colors that will change. So the side colors have changed a little bit. So yeah, usually when I focus on him, the green pops back right away. And then like I'm looking for the different little side colors. And so, yeah, it's interesting.
It is. And you made it very easy to understand, I have to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, it was pretty easy to keep up with, pretty easy to understand.
Yeah, and like I said, like for yellow, for instance, for some person it might be book learning. I read for one person where when I said the yellow, they're like, "Yeah, I've got so many degrees," and their primary color was yellow because they were really, really into learning. Yeah. And then, like for others, it's more of a hands-on learning, or so when I get the color back, then I also have I was like, okay, I know what that means, and then I focus more on the color, and then it gives me a more in-depth of that person and what that color means for that person. So like green is usually a color of abundance, and green, there's different shades, but I'll get different shades of green. So like a really light green would be like fresh grass. So that would mean that abundance is just now appearing in their life, but something that they're doing right now is just starting to show abundance. Usually it's like a new job or something like that. And then there's a dark green. So like picture your yard. Well, I'm in Illinois, central Illinois. So our yard for a nice solid green color. And that means that they're just in a really comfortable, abundant place in their life. And then there's a dark green, and the dark green means that they've had abundance their entire life, and that abundance has been a part of their life for a long time. It's a deep dark green. So anyway,
no, you explained it well. No,
yeah, it's just like I said, just because it's one color, doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same interpretation for each person.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to get out there.
No, you did. And again, what the colors represent to you isn't necessarily what they represent to somebody else.
Right. No, exactly. Like for somebody else, green might mean jealousy. So it just kind of depends. I was told that I should learn to intuitively interpret. And that's why, each color has a different interpretation for the individual. So another color that I get a lot is a blue. So blue means an empath. And when I focus on that, I can usually tell if they know they're empathic, because there's a lot of people that just don't even know that they're empathic. And then there's, or I can tell if they've been working on their empathic abilities, or if they're super comfortable with it and they know all about being an empath, and they work with it more. So, kind of interesting.
What does purple mean?
Purple for me means that they are working on their higher self. They've been working with their crown chakra and working on their higher self and higher level stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. What's the weirdest color you've ever got? Do you ever get hot pink or neon anything, or?
I've gotten red a few times, not very often. I don't usually see red. Red usually means like passion or anger. I don't usually see that, but it could just be that I just don't run across those people very often. I've gotten a few that have been just plain white. And I'm not really sure if I'm just not breaking past their block, their outer layer that puts everybody out, or if they truly are a white aura, which a white aura is pure. And then every once in a while I'll run across brown, which
means they're crappy, right? I'm kidding. Sorry.
They're full of it. They're definitely full of it. No, brown means that they're planting something. So I'm a farm girl, so this is a farm girl analogy, but they're planting the seeds for something. So whether it's a new business or a new thing that they're learning, one person was learning about Reiki and stuff. So, and then when I concentrate on the brown color, I can tell if they've just planted the seeds or if they're watering the seeds, or if the seeds are starting to grow, then it's usually that bright green.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get it. It's hard to explain. All right, I'm assuming it has to be hard to explain how you're interpreting these colors because, like you said, you're a farm girl, so that's how I think. And again, like the tarot card spreads, a lot of people will do these really complex spreads with 9 and 10 cards. My mind works in past, present, and future. That's just the way. And I get quite a bit out of my 3 cards. So that to me works. But other people like to do the 9, 10 card spreads. It's just individual preference. Yep. Yep. So, hey, it works for you. It works for you. And
it's working. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Again, if somebody were to try to force you to do it their way, or you try to force somebody else to do, it never works out well. In life, not just in this, but in life.
Right, exactly. I'm kind of glad that I didn't know it was aura readings when I started to do it, because it left me freer to interpret it on my own.
Yep. So that is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, I usually mail the painting to you.
Oh, you're going to sign it though, right?
Yeah, I'm going to sign it.
All right.
I'm going to sign and paint mail your aura to you.
Somebody will come in and be like, what is that blob? That's me.
Yeah, what is that blob?
Yep. See?
Yeah. So yeah, but that's just how I see it, and like I said, it's just a blob of color, and then I gotta say, okay, well, what color is that? And then next step is, okay, well, what color does that mean? And yeah, that's always, it's like I said, it's always interesting, even though I'll get the same colors for people. It just each color means different things for different people. So
are people easier or harder to read than strangers?
A little harder to read people I know because I have like some preconceived notions about people
Right.
that I know that I have to kind of say, okay, we're just blank those parts out and concentrate on their energy and move on. So, yeah, it is honestly a little easier to read for strangers because I have no preconceived notions. And I prefer to go into the reading without questions. Like at this point that we were at, if you had a question that you wanted me to answer, I would then go on to the questions after I've connected with your energy and we've done this part. Then I can go on and do questions. But I prefer to start with the general aura reading before I concentrate on questions.
Right, because if somebody asks a question, that also gives you information.
Exactly. That can kind of influence or ticket one way or the other.
Yep.
Whereas if I start out generally, then I have a blank slate and I go in without any preconceived notions.
And it is what it is.
Yep. So yeah, at this point, then I could do a question if you had a question, and the way I personally do that is I focus on the energy of the question. And then that will give me more insight, and then I'll pull 3 more cards.
Which again, the intuitive comes in.
Yeah.
See, I understood this a lot better than I thought I was gonna.
Yay!
Yeah, you really did. So, is this something you're doing for the public? Is there a place that... I know that. I was pretending, Rebecca.
I know.
Is there a place?
I have a Facebook page. It's Psychic Readings by Becca. So yeah, I've got a page. I just kind of threw up there. It's like I said, it's something I've just kind of been fiddling around with on the side, and yeah. But of course, you can always find me on the Cambry Place or some,
Yeah, why don't you can give out all your social media. We're getting close to the end here, so you might as well give out the 15 million places we can find you.
I know.
You're like me, so I get it. Trust me.
So, CambryHouse.com is the website for the Cambry House. And Cambry House is the Instagram, and Cambry House on Facebook. And then my own personal stuff is Manderly R, Manderlyr. And then you won't see the psychic reading stuff on there yet. I kind of made its own little page. It's got a picture of my cat. So that's Psychic Readings by Becca. So.
And as a side note, since we have a minute or so left, we are almost done recording season 2 of Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca and Shay. So
yeah, I am excited to have you guys hear those episodes. I think we recorded some really good ones this season.
Yes, we did. Very soon, so you guys be on the lookout for that. Those will be starting back up again. I almost went into how we end our show, but that's not the right show.
To be clear, we're recording this at the time that we normally record Exploring the Unknown.
Yeah, so I forgot what show I was doing for a second there. So I just want to thank everybody for listening tonight, whether you're listening to it Friday night or if you're listening to it later, because this is a pre-recorded. Season 3 is coming in September, and I'm really excited about it. I think I made a joke. I'm calling it 3.5 because I had a half a season before these 3. So,
gotcha. Well, we all have our thing.
So sometime in September, season 3 is starting back up, and I will be live again. So can't wait for that.
Woo-hoo.
So everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe and be smart.